Mountain News this morning, one southern Kentucky city could soon be without some of its firefighters and other employees following a tense meeting. And the first restaurant in Knott County receives a license to be able to sell alcohol. We talked to the owner about what it could mean for them.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Caroline Mueller here with you on this Thursday, December 18th. The time is now 5:31, so let's check in with meteorologist Megan Desmel for a look at your forecast this morning. Megan, you know, maybe those frigid temperatures at the beginning of the week are worth it if we're just sitting in these 50s and almost 60 now, and yesterday was awesome.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm willing to have at least one day of that 9-degree early morning temperatures to have several days of above average temperatures, which will be the trend as we're heading through your next work week. So let's break it down. First, starting off with today, little bit of some rain this morning, but overall a very dry start to your day. We will see some more rain picking up around noon, and then we'll see some storm chances picking up later this evening. Temperatures this morning, mixture of the 30s and 40s, and by the time we head into the afternoon, we're talking upper 50s and low 60s. And while yes, we do have a drop tomorrow with highs only in the upper 30s and low 40s, it will again be worth it as we have another stretch of 50s coming out to play for the week of Christmas. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves and talk about today's forecast. We're looking again some slight chances of that rain starting around noon, and then we'll see chances picking up, some storm chances entering into the forecast as we head into the late evening. High temperatures around 4 p.m. Caroline.
Megan, thank you. In Letcher County, one man is facing charges after he was accused of threatening to kill a physician. Last week, a complaint warrant was obtained, which ultimately led to the arrest of 26-year-old Richard Devin Wyatt. According to Whitesburg police, Wyatt made threats to kill Dr. Shane McDougal at the ARH clinic in Whitesburg. We're told that those threats were made during a number of days leading up to the warrant being obtained. Wyatt was taken to the Letcher County Jail. In Rockcastle County, fire crews were out at a barn fire yesterday morning. The Broadhead Fire Department was on Chestnut Ridge Road around 4 in the morning. They said it started as a brush fire and quickly spread to a barn that became fully engulfed in flames. After the barn collapsed, crews searched the rubble and found no one there. Thankfully, no one was hurt. A southern Kentucky city could be without most of its firefighters and some other employees after a tense meeting Tuesday. London's mayor claims the city council's amended budget will have dire consequences on personnel. The city council is blaming the mayor for how he's hired people since taking office. The mayor says it's the council's fault that all of this is happening. WYMT's Phil Pendleton is breaking down the drama that's been going on this year for the town.
Months of disagreements and drama between the London mayor and the city council showed no signs of slowing down in a special meeting Tuesday.
Shame on you for directing this council and this guy to do illegal things. And you're the one responsible for that, my friend. So don't point a finger at me.
Don't you say that to me.
Council members and the mayor were at odds over a budget ordinance amendment.
I will have to lay off the entire fire department, and that is not
then you should have thought about that before you hired 70 almost employees illegally.
Because there's no justification for it.
Mayor Weddle claims the council wanting to amend the current budget will result in 51 layoffs, impacting the fire department the worst.
I don't know. What does that look like? And what town in the state of Kentucky has this ever happened in?
Councilman Judd Weaver did accuse the London mayor of illegally hiring people in the time that he has been mayor. I did reach out to him and other city council persons for comment. I want to return calls Wednesday, but during the meeting, Weaver claimed it's been difficult to work with the mayor.
And we plan on having to amend this ordinance many times to get it right because of the lack of information.
What you hear coming out of them is rhetoric. It's not truth.
Weddle says the city has plenty of money to pay all the current employees working. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
London City Fire Chief says we would need to talk to their union rep and said they would have more to say about this later in the week. Former Letcher County Sheriff Mickey Steins is set to appear in court for a status hearing today. Steins is accused of shooting and killing District Judge Kevin Mullins in his chambers last year. A couple of weeks ago, we reported that the judge presiding over the case refused to dismiss the murder indictment against Steins. The hearing is scheduled for 1:30 p.m. today in Letcher Circuit Court. President Donald Trump says he's strongly considering an executive order to reclassify marijuana. The move would shift cannabis from Schedule 1, alongside heroin and LSD, to Schedule 3. That would ease federal restrictions and expand medical research, but it would not legalize marijuana nationwide. Cannabis would be grouped with drugs considered to have a lower risk of dependence, like ketamine and testosterone.
This puts a big profit margin in for the pharmaceutical industry, and this is a giant gift from our legislators and our president right now to the pharmaceutical industry. It's still a drug. It's still through a pharmacy. If you get caught with over-the-counter pain pills, it's the same as getting caught with fentanyl. You've got a drug.
It's unclear when Trump will sign the executive order. Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman is reflecting on his second year in office. As he looks back on 2025, Coleman is warning that artificial intelligence is supercharging fraud. He says it's creating scams so believable that many victims can't tell what's real and what's fake until their money's already gone. Coleman says his office is working with the Trump administration on new ways to protect consumers.
AI is the nuclear option in terms of assisting the fraudsters, targeting our grandparents and our parents. And we've seen example after example of those in their retirement years totally wiped out.
Coleman says AI isn't the only concern online. He's also suing the makers of Roblox, calling the game a playground for predators, and pushing for stronger age verification safeguards to protect kids. For decades, Knott County was one of the few counties left in Kentucky to be a dry county. In May of 2024, voters changed that. This month, the first restaurant in Knott County received their ABC license, allowing them to sell alcoholic beverages. WMT's McKinley Calandrino spoke to the restaurant's owner.
For decades, Knott County was dry, leaving some to travel to surrounding counties like Perry or Pike to sit down and enjoy an adult beverage.
You'd have to drive for miles to get a bootlegger, and that was dangerous.
But now things have changed. El Guerrense in Hindman is the first reported restaurant in the county to receive an ABC license, now legally selling mixed beverages, beers, and wine. The owner, Angelica Roman, says it has been a long process.
Angelica says her English isn't very clear, so she wasn't comfortable being on camera, but she did tell me that she is excited to be the first restaurant in Knott County to start selling alcohol. And she said a lot of customers have been asking when this is going to happen, and this far, it's been a success.
When the petitions first started, many believed bringing alcohol into the county would only bring trouble, but some say it could bring economic growth and more restaurants.
We really don't have a lot of sit-down restaurants, as you've noticed by now. But I think it'll really boost everything in that sense,
While Larry Huff no longer drinks, he says it could also be beneficial to those traveling through.
We have a lot of tourists through here in the summer months especially, and they like to get a beer close somewhere, not have to drive all over the countryside.
And Angelica and her crew are excited to serve both tourists and natives responsibly. In Knott County, McKinley Calandrino, WYMT Mountain News.
And of course, it's important to remember to always drink responsibly and make sure you have a plan before you drink. Well, Santa is coming to town, but it was a little earlier than expected for some. Early yesterday evening, he was at the annual Christmas on the Hill event at Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky. Many children and patients also celebrated the Christmas season with folks at Primary Care. Public Relations Coordinator Chaz Gayhart said the yearly tradition gives them the opportunity to bond with the community that they serve.
We do this every year, and it's an opportunity for every child to get to come out, and they get to see Santa, they get stockings, they get popcorn, they get hot chocolate. And it's just a night for them to have fun, run around, and enjoy the holiday season.
The event was held at Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky's Event Center in Hazard. Well, the Ten Commandments are back on display in Frankfort's Monument Park. It was donated to the Commonwealth in 1971, but was moved to storage in the 1980s. Earlier this year, lawmakers passed a joint resolution to put the monument back on display. You can find it in Monument Park on the Capitol grounds. With some experiencing frigid temperatures earlier in the week, that meant folks were trying to light up their fireplace to get warm. Earlier this week, Franklin County Fire and Frankfort Fire sent several units to a report of smoke in a home. Captain Chris Brown with the Franklin County Fire Department says chimney fires start due to a buildup of creosote. Creosote is a tar-like substance that sticks to the inside of a chimney.
Typically, you're going to see ignition of creosote within 15 to 30 minutes. Sometimes people will start the fire, walk away, go do some things, and we'll heat up everything inside the chimney, come back an hour later and the room's full of smoke. That's a very good sign that you may have a fire in your chimney.
If you are flying somewhere for the holidays, Brown says they respond to several chimney fires per year because people forget about one very important thing they should have on their home maintenance checklist: advocating for annual inspections. And if you are flying somewhere for the holidays, the TSA says to plan ahead and pack your patience. Transportation Secretary agents shared tips for packing your carry-on so you don't get stopped at the checkpoint. If you're bringing presents, they suggest putting them in gift bags or boxes so agents can inspect them without ripping the wrapping. Snow globes are popular, but if they're over 3.4 ounces, they're not allowed in your carry-on. And you might be surprised how often passengers pack their favorite cooking tools.
People actually fly with their own pots and pans frequently so that they can cook at their destination.
This is a prohibited item. More is about the weight of it. It can be used as a self-defense item. That's why it cannot go in the carry-on bag.
When items are stopped at the checkpoint, passengers have a choice to move them to a checked bag or abandon them. Whatever is left behind goes to the state to be auctioned. The Kentucky Blood Center has a special thank you for those who give the gift of life this holiday season. Donate blood between December 17th and 31st and you'll receive movie tickets for 2. The incentive comes as the Blood Center faces a critical shortage. You can donate at any of KBC's 8 donor centers across 6 cities. 3 are in our area in Corbin, Pikeville, and Somerset. Donors must be at least 17 years old and in good health. The KBC Blood Mobile will be at WYMT right after the new year on January 5th. Still to come, Amazon MGM Studios dropped the first trailer for the upcoming documentary titled Melania. That and more in a look of today's Entertainment.
And we are talking about temperatures on Christmas. I'll have what you need to know.